Howdy folks, TJ here. A new Next update from the Kickstarter number 2 dropped, actually back on the 9th. Unfortunately, TJ didn't have internet during that time. We were out internet 2 weeks. This is the longest. I was on the edge. No internet for 2 weeks. I'm kind of used to power outages and internet going down. Seems like it's becoming a normal thing up here where I live. Last year, we had just had the internet for like 3 days, fiber, after going 20 years with satellite internet that, not Elon Musk's satellite internet, that's decent. HughesNet, which is like 26K, less than dial-up speed, suck-butt internet. I had finally got fiber here at our house after 20 years of being on terrible internet. And then 3 days later, a fire came through our general area and wiped out the new fiber internet that was in. So during that time, it took a while to get fixed. I think about a week on that, week and a half, something like that. Then last year, we had a snowstorm in this late December, early January that took out the internet. And I think we were out a week. This time, it's 2 weeks because of the massive snowstorms in California. We're talking house size of snow that people up in the Tahoe and Truckee area in Northern California are dealing with. I'm glad I don't live up there, but we do live in the same county, and we did get some snow and ice, and up in town, which is higher up, which some of this infrastructure comes from, wiped out telephone poles, electrical poles, people who were without power for weeks on end. I think most everybody's got power now. We were fortunate this time. We were only out of power a short time, but the internet did take 2 weeks to get back. But I'm happy to be back. On the 9th, a new update dropped on the Kickstarter website. And as tradition, I've been doing this for a while now. I like to read it and kind of give my reaction to it. I don't read it verbatim. I just kind of skim over it. And what I like to pluck out of it, I pluck out of it. I'm also testing a new camera. So to date, I've been using this Pixel 3 by Google for, I don't know how many years now, 4 years, something like that. And it's been okay, but the battery's been replaced once. The replacement battery, which is now over 2 years old, is starting, I think, bulge a little bit again, and it doesn't last but a few hours on a charge if you don't do much. So it's time. And I have moved recently to a iPhone, back in the iPhone world. I went Android for a while, and then I got the Microsoft Surface Duo 2, which I ended up deciding to sell. It was cool, but not perfect for me, because I now have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, the biggest iPhone I've ever owned. It's got a lot of gigabytes in it for storing video. Now, I don't have an external mic on it, so I don't know how this sound is coming through. We'll see. If it doesn't work well, I'm going to have to figure out how to connect a mic that I've been using on this one. On that one, I'll probably find some dingle-dangle to make it work. But meanwhile, let's go ahead and try it and see how it looks. We're going to do, It's March and It's Snowing is the name of this update. Dropped on the 9th by Michael Cadwallader. How's that? I said it pretty good that time, huh? Probably still off, but I didn't goof it up terribly. Right next to him, it says collaborator. So I guess maybe if Henrique posts it, it doesn't say collaborator, but Michael's a collaborator. March 9th, 2023. So I'm sorry I'm a little late, but hopefully you enjoy this banter between you and I on Speccy Next. Manufacturing process. So starting with the regular important dates tracking, and I normally read this pretty verbatim for the first part, but then I start skipping over stuff. We're still firmly aimed Q3 23 shipping, now looking more firm than ever. The Arctic 7 FPGA, one missing part of the project, is expected to be delivered to our partner's plant next month, April. Hopefully that's not an April Fool, that they're screwing around with the next guy saying, oh, we're not going to deliver their chips. We're going to bring an April Fool. I'd kick their bastard asses if they did that, because we want our Speccy next. Next. 2 months ahead of schedule. Yay. I was saying that because it says it on the screen. Yay. Thanks for the surprise. Now, I still don't know how to pronounce this. It says Xilinx. Is that Xilinx? Xlinx? Links? It is what it is. Plus AMD. So AMD, I think, owns Xlinks, something like that. Anyway, thank you. I still don't know how to say your name. I'm going to call it Xlinks. Xlinks. Okay. As mentioned in the previous updates, all of our electronic parts necessary for assembly of the Spectrum Next are already acquired and in stock, with our manufacturing partner with only the Arctic 7 pending in order to commence production. With the last piece of the puzzle in place, it will be production time. Sweetness. In the meantime, we haven't been resting on our laurels. The brains powering Ellen Albright and Tim Gilberts. Hi, Tim. How you doing? Hi, Alan. Thanks for all you do. And thought that Spectrum Next tape loading circuit. I've never loaded a tape on the Speccy Next. I own a Speccy Plus 3, but I don't think it came with the right cable for connecting cassettes to it. So I don't own the right cable. It's different than the older Speccy 48-128. It's got a special cable that goes to 2 monos or whatever it is. So I've never done that in the Next. So I'll have to get a cable one day and try this. But let's read on. It says they wanted to check out the loading circuitry. The same design present in the most Speccy remake boards out there could be improved with a few tweaks here and there. Loading from tape on the Next is more fiddly. I'm a fiddly joker. I'm a Jimmy, and I've got to do a lot of this, and I'm never comfortable. I can never sit still. I should be a skinny man. I'm not. Maybe, I don't know why. Fiddly than the original hardware, resulting in more of the dread R-tape loading error 0:1 messages. And then it shows a picture of the R-tape error. And I have seen plenty of those, even in my relatively short time as a Speccy connoisseur. Thus, Alan and Tim embarked on a new tape loading circuit, resulting in a prototype board that has been manufactured, and as you read, this will be shipped to our testing team around the globe. In the new circuit designs improved performance, that circuit that ships in your new Speccy Next. If not, we will default back to the original one. So it looks like they're going to be some testing of this new mechanism. Very cool if it works. I mean, will I load tapes on my Speccy Next? Maybe, as I'll admit it, as a novelty, I will. I do like to load up a cassette periodically on my older Speccies, like the 128 Toast Rack, because I don't own a SD device for the Toast Rack or any of my older ones. I've got a Omni laptop that can read SDs, but I don't have an SD reader on any of my other Speccies. So I do have to load tapes there or use a device like the Max from You Make Robots. He was very kind and sent to me the Maxduino device that I use, but that's a tape mechanism. It's not an SD, quick load thing. So I don't own anything like that on the older one. So anyway, cool. So it looks like they're going to test this, see if it works. If it works, they're going to slap it in. If they're not going to, they're not. And in summary, and with things looking this good on the manufacturing side, expect some in-production photos in the upcoming April update. Very cool. In the meantime, here's what has been going on in the Spectrum world this year so far. Shovel Adventure. I don't own this game. I wish I owned it. I just have to draw the line on what I can buy. I love more than just Sinclair. I know, but you know me. I'm an Atarian, right? I was an Atari kid, and I've gradually fallen in love with Sinclair. And probably it's very unique among United States citizens to say I love Sinclair. I do, but I have a equal amount and longer history with Atari stuff. And I love Atari, and then I love all these other platforms, and I blame Sinclair because if it wasn't for the Sinclair showing me what happened overseas with all your 8-bit computing, I would never have learned about the Auric Atmoses and all these other Sam Coupés. And then, of course, I collected a lot of those, and then I started experiencing and falling in love with other oddball, I'll call them, platforms like the Aquarius. I love the Aquarius. It's a cool-looking, funky-ass little computer. Not like the funky-ass Medina song, but yeah, it's cool. And I just dig it. So, yeah, I love more than just Sinclair. But I can't buy everything for every platform I own. And as much as I'd love to, and I said early on, I'd love to collect every single thing for the Next, since it's fresh and I came in at the right time. Unfortunately, I just don't have, I'm a poor man. I don't have the money to do it. So, yeah. Anyway, I wish I owned it, but Shovel Adventure looks like an awesome game from the Pat Morita team. And this whole section about Shovel Adventure talks about the game. It is available, and if I am fine with just downloads, you can go to itch.io site for this group and buy it that way. I prefer hard media that don't want to go there, but hardware, because I like physical stuff to collect. And if I can't, I may splurge once in a while and get a download only, but I much prefer the physical. Anyway, it talks about the physical versions of Shovel Adventure, shows some pictures, and it looks like it's a Tutankhamun mummy kind of game. Looks cool. Anyway, so this Kickstarter update talks about that. Gave the link to, there's other programs from the Pat Morita team too, and I guess they've got limited amounts left of some of their other games, it looks like, that maybe they have. So you can go check them out. Anyway, let's move on. Dream World Pogi. Whilst Dream World Pogi was technically a Kickstarter 1 stretch goal, and this is a Kickstarter 2 update, there is news to be had. The game has been up, and I haven't read this yet, so I have no idea what's going on. The game has been up in the air for quite some time, with the developers trying to decide whether to push on or to change their style entirely and produce a different game. We have now had word that the original plan to produce Dream World Pogi is back on and work has resumed. Cool. Pogi will be, as you know, it from the System Next demo, but bigger and badder, and using more of the new features our Next have gotten over the last few years. As a major concern delaying development was the matter of who owns Pogi's intellectual property. It has been decided that unless the situation changes, Pogi will be given free only to Kickstarter 1 backers. I am a Kickstarter 1 backer, so I will get it for free. That's cool. But it won't be available it won't be available for purchase from anyone else. So it's bittersweet news for Kickstarter 2 backers. So it looks like, that's a bummer. I like Pogi. I kind of enjoyed the demo of it. That's kind of bummer. So bummer news. But that's not all, though. So let's keep reading on in case there's something else going on. That's not all, though. As the plans to go in different direction with changed graphics and so weren't abandoned, Next users, yes, that includes Kickstarter 2 backers this time, will get a second game based on the original Pogi code base with extra puzzles, larger levels, and cooperative 2-player action. Cool. So it sounds like they're going to play around with some graphics and stuff like that and add to this the Destructo Fest for the ages, the Wasp guys. Hope you will forgive them on the Pogi Kickstarter 2 exception. So kind of bad news, but kind of cool at the same time. I mean, I'm cool with a little graphical change, you know. You're still going to get the essence of the game, and that's the spirit of it, right? So that's cool. Get it! G-E-T-I-T. I say that a lot around here to the dogs. Get it! It's all one word, G-E-T-I-T. Get it. A new update and new tool. Have you ever been called a tool before? See, that's why you watch these Kickstarter. Normally, my Kickstarter 2 updates do pretty well. I've seen some people just kind of read the same exact stuff, but they don't throw some fun into it. Hopefully, my stupidity is fun. But I kind of have fun with it, and this is fun. So I like reading off and then putting my own flavor into it. But Get It is a downloading tool that allows you to search. And have you been called a tool before? I have plenty of times. To search and download Next software directly on your Wi-Fi enabled Next. Cool. David Safier. I like David because he was the behind one of my favorite games, which I won't talk about, but it's one that's on Kickstarter 2 that's supposed to come. Night. It has the word night in it. I'll leave it there. I love that game. It's probably one of my favorite Speccy games, to tell you the truth. I actually did good on it, and I won the 7-level demo of it. I actually made it to the end of it. So anyway, David has been working on the front-end Next tool back-end website. He's been dealing with some front ends and back ends, nicely done, and database, which will let developers upload their software from a Mac or PC, and the software will then be available on the Get It. This makes getting software on your Next super simple. Either search by name or browse by category. Discmag, tool games, demos, and music. So it looks like a new, it's got pictures, which you won't see here, but it's a very graphic picture. It looks very Next-ish. It looks very nice, actually. And it looks like it's for the, so Get It is basically a download and an easy way to grab stuff for your Next. Now, I don't know how much is on this repository that they're linking to. I didn't even know about this, so I'm going to have to grab this and download it and test it and see how this works, and then I'll make a video on it. But this looks pretty promising. So anyway, that's a fun way to grab music and games and demos and all sorts of stuff. It also gives Remy Sharp a big congratulations, because under the hood is Remy Sharp's HTTP command, which David then created this top end for. I'll call it top end. That's a fun word. And then there's a video link that shows you what it is. So I'm going to have to click on this afterwards. We don't have time to do that now, but I'll check it out, and then maybe I'll do my own experience with it. Cool. Baps Arcade. I know that guy. Baps Arcade. He's a YouTube guy, kind of like me, and he's got a cool channel that has a lot of Speccy stuff, and we've shared discussions via text and stuff. So I know him. I'm on his YouTube channel. I should say I subbed, and I do watch his stuff, and he's got some cool stuff. And it says Brett Bapst Arcade, or it's Bapst Arcade. Bapstar. I call it Bapstarcade, but is it really Bapst Arcade? You tell me if you're watching this. Is well known for his passion for vintage gaming and computers, as well as his main YouTube channel, and there's a link, where he covers all manner of systems. He also has What's Next YouTube channel, which is devoted entirely to the Spectrum Next. It's definitely worth checking out. So there's a link and information on here, and it looks like he's also a proponent of that Next launcher, and is also working on TX 1696 with Lucky Red Fish. From what I gathered when I met him at the Crash event in 2022, along with Patricia Curtis, who is the head guru with that new game, which looks really cool. She's the coder of TX 1696, and Richard Faulkner, who does wonderful music stuff. So it looks like Brett must be doing some testing. He says he's responsible for the quality aspects of the title, or if Richard is. Maybe Richard is. Continuously testing the results of Patricia's drive to push the envelope of this. So maybe he is too. So anyway, Brett is involved with that game, and he's also got a wonderful YouTube channel. So check it out. Then they go right into the TX-1696 competition. There is a competition, it looks like, at least at the time. Now, I don't know if this is over because it's the 9th that this update came out, but there is a link to a video, and it talks about some things that Brett's involved with. The TX-1696, the Next launcher by Richard Sherman, and a whole bunch of discussion on that. The launcher looks really cool. It took me years to finally update the current Next ZXOS, so I am slow to introduce new stuff into my Next. I'll admit it. So I haven't tried this yet. One day I will. But I'm very slow to gravitate towards newer stuff sometimes. I'm lame in that respect, some may say. But others like to keep it nice and steady. And I'm getting used to the Next ZXOS. And I find that if I have to pillage it straight on without too much eye candy over the top of it, it gives me more time to explore it and understand it better. That's the way I look at it. Anyway, that's very cool. All cool stuff there. Tape to Tap, new release. It looks like there's a new release of the utility Tape to Tap. This now features double speed loading from the ear socket as long as you have playback device that supports this. So there is a paragraph or two about tape to tap. ZXSpect new release. Mike Daly has been hard at work. Looks like there's a new update, 2.19.2.0. From Mike's website, there's a link to go to that. And you can go to his website. It also says buy him a coffee. So he does have, I forget what, is it named Krakatoa? There's something. You click on it and you can donate like a cup of coffee, kind of like a Patreon, but not a Patreon. A way to say thank you for all your hard work. So if you're using ZXSpect and like it, you should definitely check out his updated version and also kick back a nice little donation his way. He also looks like it says has a Patreon account too, so multiple ways to support his great efforts. Finally, as always, we are not always able to capture every happening within the Spectrum Next scene. We do get distracted from time to time, so if you know of something we have missed, or if you are working on something yourself, please let us know by dropping an email to info@specnext.com. And I'll just end it at, you should definitely visit and peruse and enjoy the forums at specnext.com because it is a great repository, a great place for you to do everything Specky Next. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this update. Pretty cool update. Maybe a little, what I'd like to see in a future update, I want the next dust cover because people always make fun of it's not as dusty today, but there's still dust. My QL is normally in a lot of the shots, and they go, you need to dust off that computer. I'll admit, this house is dusty as hell. I wish I could afford some of those great filter devices that filter all this stuff out, or that I could afford lots of dust covers, but I want the Specky Next cover. So hopefully one of these updates comes up and says, hey, you remember that Specky Next dust cover that looked cool? We are going to for surely be selling them. Here's the ETA. Here's the estimated price. I haven't seen anything like that for a long time. So hopefully over all this time of waiting for the Specky Next, that they've been working that all out and that we can buy them soon because I want two. I've got two Nexts. I'd love to have two. And they're, I want to help support them too. So hopefully that can throw a little support their way. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching it. Hopefully my voice came in okay watching it through this new camera. It's probably tinny as hell and I sound terrible, but my voice is, it's not a radio voice, but it is a voice at least. So thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.